With Big 12 Media Days coming this week, we are just that much closer to the start of the 2023 West Virginia football season. Let's go. What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Jordan Cruz back here with the Country Roads Webcast. And before I get into this video, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder. If you would, do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button on this video. Giving it a like will really help not only its performance, but future videos performances here on the channel. And if you're a West Virginia fan, be sure hit that subscribe button. Helps us and it helps you, as it helps get more of this Mountaineer sports content out to Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, let's get into it. All right, as I mentioned in the cold open to the video, Big 12 Media Days coming up this week kind of marks the unofficial start of the season for some. Some like to call it talking season. However you feel about it, it certainly means that the start of fall camp is just a couple weeks away now, and we're getting very close to the start of the upcoming Mountaineer football season. So I'm sure that gets us all excited. And in regards to those West Virginia football players, there will be 5 of them heading down to Arlington to represent the Mountaineers at Big 12 Media Days. Those 5 players you see here on the graphic shared on the university's official football Twitter page there at WVU Football on Twitter. The representees for West Virginia, you get 2 offensive linemen, in-state native Zach Frazier, in-state native Doug Nestor. And then on the defense, you get the 3 players that I've been talking about all off season here that I feel like will be big pieces of the West Virginia defense, because I feel like they have a good player at each level. Is something I've talked about, and West Virginia is bringing each player at that level. Sean Martin from the defensive line, Lee Copa from the linebacking core, and Aubrey Burks there from the secondary there as West Virginia's free safety last season. And then, of course, returning this year as one of the top rated safeties in the entire Power 5, and actually is the highest rated safety in the Big 12. So, I'm certainly glad to see all of these players heading down to Arlington to represent the Mountaineers. Lee Cobra and Aubrey Burks last season were the 2 leading tacklers for the West Virginia football team, finishing number 1 and number 2 respectively there. Whereas after Sean Martin became a starter last season, he never looked back. 8 TFLs and 4 sacks on the year. And then, of course, Zach Frazier, can't sing his praises enough. First team preseason All-American Biathlon Sports. Of course, all Big 12 preseason team that was announced this past week as well. He's racking up a ton of preseason honors, believed to not only be the best returning center in the Big 12 conference, but one of the best nationally as well. And then, of course, no slouch of his own, Doug Nestor joining him there off the offensive line as well. Thought that he may go pro after last season, instead elects to play one more season of college football, and we couldn't be happier about that through Mountaineer Nation, as we believe this will be one of the strongest offensive lines we've had at West Virginia in quite some time. And Doug Nestor out there at the right tackle spot is going to be a big reason why. And then just to close out here, wanted to provide you guys with a little bit of information about Big 12 Media Days in case you didn't already know. But it's coming up Wednesday, July 12th, Thursday, July 13th. The team we're concerned about most, of course, WVU, will actually be taking the stage on July 13th, as you see here, detailed in this article over on Big12Sports.com. Although if you're like me, you probably want to catch up on some of these other Big 12 teams and what they've done throughout the offseason as well. So if you want to watch the Big 12 Media Days in its entirety, you can do that on ESPNU or on ESPN Plus there. Coverage beginning Wednesday at 1 p.m. and then picking back up the next day on Thursday the 13th at 9:30 a.m. And as I said earlier, Baylor, BYU, Houston, Kansas, Oklahoma State, TCU, and Texas. Those will be the teams presented on Wednesday, July 12th. And then on July 13th, you'll get to see UCF, Cincinnati, Iowa State, Kansas State, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, and of course our beloved West Virginia Mountaineers. And we talked about the 5 players representing WVU, but they're on the screen. I'll scroll through this really quickly. You can see the players that will be representing the other conference opponents' teams there throughout this Big 12 Media Days. Like I said, to me, it's kind of the unofficial start to the season. It always feels like, because I know once it comes around, practice isn't too far around the corner either. However you feel about Big 12 Media Days, positively or negatively, the one thing that we can't deny is that it just means we are getting closer and closer to the start of another West Virginia football season. So there you have it, Mountaineer Nation. Doug Nestor, Zach Frazier, Sean Martin, Lee Cobra, Aubrey Burks, and of course, head coach Neil Brown, representing WVU at the upcoming Big 12 Media Days this week, which will start on July 12th. And of course, you can catch WVU there on July 13th. So a little bit of info there on Big 12 Media Days. How are you feeling about the players that West Virginia has chosen to take to Arlington this year? And how are you feeling in general? Are you getting more confident about the upcoming season, or are you getting more nervous? Personally, I think this West Virginia football team is going to surprise some people this year, but would love to know what you think. Be sure, let us know your thoughts down there in the comments. We really appreciate those interactions as we continue to try and grow the Country Roads Webcast community throughout Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go, Mountaineers.